Justin Gladwell. Those are the white graders. In the yellow grade we see Richard White in 143 and Adrian Bedford in 327. Paul Wincott drives 350 and 86 Steve Baldwin. 356 is Matt Wells and 334 Gary Robinson. On the back straight, the blue graders first away there could do well in this one, perhaps. 268 Keith Wright. On his outside we see Peter Martin in 206. 347 Carl Nunn sits on the next row, and on his outside 349 is Brian Bunn. Completing the blue grade 205 Martin Ward. One more for the whites. He's just rounding the case to bend now, number 37 Terry Hayes. Right, then we move to the star men, and I think from what you've seen in the heats, you must, I think, fancy one of these for the victory in the grand final. But which one will it be, we wonder? Any supporters for 500? Bruce Wilcox. On his outside from Ashford, 357 Gary Thomas. Next row back, very smart car, 204 Carl Pye. Then we see an equally smart one from Eastbourne, 147 is Rick Lemon. Rob Saw is in car number 600. 198, one of East Anglia's top men, Andy Stewart. One of the top Southerners, 65, Mark Willis. And just coming round to take his place at the very back of the grid, the English champion. Very seldom does he go away from Caister without at least one win. From Norwich, 524, Melly Cooke. So all safely into their stride. A good start. 28 though hasn't got away quite as quickly as some, but he's got the presence of mind to move to the outside and let them all storm through on the inside. Hopefully 28 will get himself going, because he looked very, very good in the first race, and I think he may well have serious problems here in the final. Anyway, one lap's done. Steve Framingham leads in 157. 208 is second, Steve Dawson, and Mark Smith is third in 416. Well, they've all managed to come through unscathed. There's a few bits of radiator grill and what have you left on the home straight, but they're all in one piece. So they've done 2 laps, and Mark Smith leads in 416. Massive cars rounding the Caister Bend as they all jostle for the early advantage. We've lost 357 Adrian Bedford as well, man who won one of the earlier heats. So he goes out, but all in all he's not had a bad night, has he? This Caister Bend though looks very, very tricky with a whole heap of cars there, but some excellent driving from all and sundry means that they all come through again. They head now for the pits turn. How are they going to fare there? Again, still safe and well. Melly Cooke making very good progress from the back of the grid in 524. Mark Willis though and Andy Stewart a bit bogged down with the back markers at this stage, so they're going to have to get some skates on, otherwise Cookie will be gone and he'll take some catching. Meanwhile, the man who does lead on the home straight is stock car man Mark Smith in 416. Matt Wells is going well, he's fourth in 356. Rick Lemon very, very wide off the Caister Bend in his new one, but manages to keep it all nice and shiny, and who knows, might still be one to watch as this race progresses. Brian Bunn has an off on the far side. The 349 Escort swiftly rejoins. It's something of a charmed life that some of them are having out there, but the luck runs out for 500 Bruce Wilcox on the Caister Bend, and he's been rammed by Barry Picton and also Rob Saw involved as well. Here come the leaders. They don't really quite know what to make of all this, but eventually they all get through. The waves part. Melly Cooke, look at the progress he's made in 524. So has Mark Willis in 65. So they are definitely going to be in there with a shout by the time we reach the finish. Bruce Wilcox eventually gets to the safety of the infield. Rick Lemon has retired as well in 147. So the man who's up from Eastbourne for the night, he finally joins his South Coast colleague Adrian Bedford on the infield, where he can just watch the rest of this race progress. So Mark Smith leads in 416. Matt Wells now second in 356. Then we get 350 Paul Wincott, 157 Steve Framingham, former East Anglian champ Keith Wright in 268. We said earlier on he could do well in this, and he is doing well. and then beyond him 2:08 Steve Dawson, and then Melly Cooke currently 7th in 5:24. Mark Willis though managing just about to keep him in sight, but I'm afraid Andy Stewart is being left far too far behind in 1:98. So it looks like of the big names it's a battle between Cooke and Willis, but they've still got a few to get past yet. 11 laps are done, so we're 1/3 the way. And Mark Smith, the white grader, still leads down the back straight. He leads by almost the length of a straight over 3.56 Matt Wells. Here comes Wells for second. Here's the third place, 3:50, 2:68, 5:24 and 65. Mark Smith a little bit wide on the far side. That was nearly curtains for him, but he's managed to keep it all together. He still leads. He's got plenty of back markers as well now to worry about. Here's the second man, Matt Wells in 3.56. Been a star man in his time, had a few wins. And now Melly Cooke moving up even more. He now moves through the third. Mark Smith rather getting a bit ragged on some of the bends, particularly coming off the pits turn on the far side. Let's see how he fares through there this time. Again, a bit ragged tail out, but he's still there. 3.56 in second, but he's got Melly Cooke now for company in 5.24. They round the Caister bend. It's all a little bit fraught and frantic. 3.56 goes out, and that will be a black cross, Mr. Starter, 2.68, Keith Wright. So Keith Wright goes out. This one, though, is not all over yet, not by any manner of means. They've still got to catch Mark Smith, and Melly Cooke has got Mark Willis right there, only a matter of yards behind him. So still quite a lot of exciting things can happen in the remaining 14 laps of this Stock Rod Grand Final. Here's the white grader, Mark Smith, his first ever meeting in the Stock Rods. Melly Cooke, been in the formula for many years after a very successful national hot rod career as well. He is currently second and now closing in on Smith as they round the Caister bend. So it's Smith, Cooke and Willis. Then it's Keith Wright in 2.68, Paul Wincop in 3.50 and 26 Gary Goodswin. Down the far side they go. Cookie is ready to pounce. He dives through on the inside. Mark Smith on the outside. Mark Willis is closing in on the pair of them. They're through. Cookie has the lead. 19 laps are done. There's 11 to run. Now, who is going to come out on top? Is it going to be Melly Cooke, the English champion, a former world champion? Can Mark Willis perhaps snatch this one? He's got really some work to do though. Mark never had a major championship, but without doubt one of the top 3 or 4 drivers in the country. He eventually gets the better of Mark Smith, but he's made fairly heavy weather of that. But anyway, eventually he gets second. So now, can he, in the remaining 9 laps of this one, catch Melly Cooke, or is Cookie going to pull further and further away? He's got a few back markers ahead now, but I don't think any of those are going to cause him any problems. There goes Cookie, here's Willis, here's Mark Smith, still doing well, third. Keith Wright, Paul Wincop and Martin Ward, they're the top half dozen. Andy Stewart currently 7th, but half a lap down on the race leader. So the Stewart's on, I'm afraid, not going to be upheld in this one. It's all between Cookie and Willis, and Cookie is winning this hands down at present. So Willis had one of the heats, Cookie got near it, but I think the final looks like his, but many a slip, as we've seen on many occasions. 24 laps are done, it's 5 next time, Mr. Starter, as Melly Cooke gets in amongst the back markers on the back straight. One of them is Rob Saw, a fellow star man, and bear in mind he started with him, so he's Melly has already lapped him and now beginning to come through and lap people like Richard White, Brian Bunn and others on the pits turn. Cookie then easily through the back markers. Now Mark Willis has got the problem of dealing with those. Back in third, quite a tussle between 4.16 and 3.15. They've both in fact been passed by 2.68, so he's third. Fourth is 4.16 and 3.50, and 1.98 is 6. That's the top half dozen, but with 3 laps to run, it's looking like Cookie's race. Mark Willis still can't get past these back marking 1.43 and 3.49, so he's getting increasingly frustrated here. He sees his arch rival Melly Cooke storming away to what looks like certain victory now. Oh, does it, or does it? That was a close call for Cooke. Very nearly found himself in the fence when the race was there for the winning. It was certainly close, but he survived it. He's got 2 laps and a bit to run. Through he comes then. Cooke 5.24. Here's Mark Willis in second. A gallant try, but it's only going to be second. Keith Wright for third. Andy Stewart's coming with a late charge, but the best he's going to manage is fourth as Cooke rounds to Caister Bend for the last time. There's the checkered flag. He wins the Stock Rod Grand Final. Mark Willis gets second. Then the back markers come through ahead of Keith Wright. Andy Stewart gets up for fourth on the line, but well beaten. Paul Wincott, Peter Martin, Mark Smith and others. And with that, red flag, Mr. Starter please, to end the Stock Rod Grand Final. We said in the call over, he seldom leaves Caister without at least 1 win to his credit. He came right from the back of the field, of course. It was a hard and fierce struggle, and of course one time he was nearly in the fence, but he held on. Here he is, 5.24, Cooke.